In this video, we'll look at the Linux cut command. In order to help you find what you need more easily, I split the video into chapters so you can jump directly to the information you're looking for. Whether you want to better understand one of the command line options or simply want to see some examples, I've got you covered. To jump to a chapter, look in the description down below where each chapter is listed. By clicking on the link, you can jump to the section you want to see. Or if you want to see the entire video, keep watching. You can use the cut command to write selected rows of data to the standard output stream from either an input file or the standard input stream. The cut command can be useful for manipulation of data files, extracting the interesting data elements and outputting them for further processing. We'll look at lots of examples in this video. We'll be using Ubuntu Linux for all our examples and running all our commands in a bash shell. For all our demos and examples, we'll be using a sample CSV or comma-separated value data file that contains several fields. They include a numeric index, an employee first name, last name, email address, employee ID, job title, and the number of years of tenure in our fictitious company. Here I've run the head command so you can see the first few lines of our data file. Like nearly all new programs, cut accepts a few common options. First is the -- help option. It prints a message listing all the available options and then exits with a success indicator. We can print out the return code by typing in echo $?. The return code of 0 indicates success. Non-zero value indicates failure. The next common option is version. If we type in cut -- version, we see the version information associated with our copy of the cut command for our environment. Now let's look at the options for the manipulation of data. Cut allows us to specify the data we want to select as bytes, characters, or fields. The byte option is specified with either a -b or $bytes. Characters are specified by -c or $characters, and fields are specified by -f or $fields. Each invocation of the cut command should specify only one of those types. If you specify more than one of the types in the same command, you get an error like we see here. Each of the commands allows us to specify a list or range of data to be read. List ranges are numbered starting at 1. Each number range can be a single number indicating one byte, character, or field, or a pair of numbers separated by a dash. Multiple ranges can be specified by adding a comma. In this example, we specify that the bytes 1 and 2 are printed inclusive, then bytes 10 through 20 are printed inclusive. Incomplete ranges can also be specified. For example, -some number means all of the bytes, characters, or fields up to that number. This command will select all the characters up to and including character number 4, while this command will select all the characters in the range from 4 to the end of the line. For the fields option, the default delimiter between fields is a tab character. To specify a different delimiter, use the -d or $= delimiter option. Recall that our example text file is delimited by commas. If we try to select field numbers 3 using the default behavior, we get the entire row of data since there's no tab delimiter as we see here. The default behavior of cut is to print a line verbatim when no delimiter is found. If we want to suppress that behavior and print only the lines that contain a delimiter, we can use the -s or $, only delimited option to indicate this. Running the same command with the -s option, we see that nothing is printed because tab, the default delimiter, is not found. But if we use the delimiter option and specify a comma, we get the user last name. If we want to add our own delimiters between the fields we print, we can do so with the output delimiter option, in which we specify a string. For example, if we want to add a pipe character between the comma delimited fields 1 through 4, we can do so like this. Wait, what happened? For some characters, the shell will interpret them and prevent the expected behavior. We can fix this by escaping the pipe character with a / or wrapping it with double quotes. Now let's say that we want to get the data other than what we specified with our options. We can use the -- complement option. It will print out all of the bytes, characters, or fields not specified via our options. Recall in our last command, we printed the fields 1 through 4. If we add the complement option, we'll get the remaining data in the row that was not selected. In our first example, let's extract the login name of users on the system. We'll use the head command to pipe the contents of the etc password file into cut, which will read from standard input. We specified the delimiter used in the password file, which is the colon, to the cut command using the -d option. We'll specify that we want to see the first field of the result using the -f option and a 1. By default, the head command will display the first 10 lines of a file. In our result, we see the first 10 users of the file, including root, daemon, bin, and so forth. Now let's say that we want to print a list of the first names of our users in the user dataset file we've been using in our demos. First, let's recall the format of the data we're using by running head on the file to see the first 10 rows. So the first name is the second field, and we use delimiters as commas. Easy, so we enter the following: cut -d, specify a comma, we use -f, and specify 2 as our field, and we specify our data file name. Now let's say that we want to sort the data. We can pipe that into the command sort as we see here. This gives us a list of the users in alphabetical order. Notice that we have some duplicates in the data. We see 2 entries for the Zebulon, for example. If we want to remove the duplicates, we can pipe the data through the unique command to remove the adjacent duplicates. To do that, we pipe the data through the unique command. And there we go. Now we see that we have only 1 entry for Zebulon. For our last example, let's figure out which version of the Linux kernel we're using on this machine. There are more direct ways to do this, but we'll be using cut to show how we can do it very easily. First, let's run the command uname with the -a option. This will print all the information about the kernel, including the name, host name of the node, kernel release date, and other information. In our output, the kernel version is the third value, 5.4.0, 26 generic. We see that the data is delimited by the space character and is the third field. So we can run the command uname -a, pipe that into cut, specify using double quotes, the space is our delimiter, and specify the third field using the -f option. To specify the space character, we enter it between double quotes after the -d option, and we get the version information as a result. This channel is dedicated to helping all users become more security conscious in what they do. So what security issues might arise around using the cut command? When manipulating data, you want to understand the sensitivity of the data that you're accessing and make sure you're careful with all input and output files that you may use. Personally identifiable information, or PII, can take many forms in different countries, and treating the data, especially in clear text casually, can lead to many legal issues. Imagine you left data containing a government identifier, such as a social security number, contact information, such as an address or phone number, or customer financial information lying around after your work, and it was not cleaned up properly. If it was found by an unauthorized user, an auditor, or a hacker who breached your defenses, this could lead to a privacy violation and result in fines and other penalties for those involved. Always exercise caution when accessing sensitive data and clean up after yourself to avoid downstream problems. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like, subscribe, and share to get more great content. Remember to always begin secure.